only spent like $1,000.
Okay.
She says, "Who is it?" She's like, not even 2 yet, and she talks so quick.
Yeah, that's my neighbor. It's just
Mark, your shirt's in my
Look out the window.
and your suit.
Come on in.
Cover your eyes.
What happened, honey? What?
Daddy.
okay. Go and ask my mom.
Hi. Hi, Anna. Hi, Steven. Steven Jensen.
He didn't get his 60 minutes.
Okay, let's introduce everyone on the.
So that my dad can see you.
Let's introduce everyone on the tramp.
Ben. Hi.
This is Joe.
There's a guy over there on the roof.
This is Mikey. This is Keith. And this is Ben.
It's Cody.
Oh my god. Okay, ready? Turn around so you can see. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, guys.
Right here.
Hey, Joy, I'm after me. You Joe. I'm next and you're last.
Okay, now it's Ben's.
Joe, is that fun being here?
What?
Is that fun being here?
What?
Is it fun being here? Have you enjoyed your visit?
What? Yeah.
You having a hard time here tonight?
Yeah. Look it. Everybody's so good.
Oh gosh, Ben.
Do your high one. My turn. Higher than.
Mikey's turn.
Get on the side. Emily, back behind this one.
That's Emily and Benjamin and Keith and Joseph Nielsen and Mikey Nielsen. They're visiting here from Colorado.
Okay, you're off now, Ben.
He was jumping.
It's Mikey's turn.
No.
Yes. It doesn't matter.
Get on the side. It's my turn. Stop. Hey, I got on the side for you.
Here, Dad, I'll videotape while you get on and bounce him.
Okay.
Yeah. No, my dad's just getting down.
Stephanie, I gotta go put the shoes on Stephanie. Smile.
Smile. Get back out of here.
jump on.
Yeah! You guys stay on the side. The rest can jump on.
We gotta get a little run at this.
Yeah, just like me. Hey, get on the side. Dad can do it.
Okay, I'm gonna show you how I get on the tramp when I want to play with the kids.
I'm gonna do it after. You need to do that. Go.
Ooh, all right, Rod.
Okay.
Okay, we've got our first injury to report on. What happened, Mikey?
Watch out, you guys! Get on the side!
Okay, get onto the side.
Watch out, guys! Get onto the side! Watch out, guys! Get onto the side! Watch out, guys! Get onto the side!
Watch, Mike. They're coming. The runners are coming.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it! Watch out! I'm gonna do it. Yeah, watch out! Don't jump, Dad! I'm gonna go! Yeah, I'm running! No, I'm next. I'm next. Watch out! Go! Go, Keith!
Awesome, Mikey.
Watch out, you guys! Don't jump! Okay, I'm gonna go! Watch out, Mikey!
No good picture. Too much backlight.
No, get those cookies
I have to be
out.
over here.
Mark,
This is Mark showing his date how he gets ready for her.
Oh, can we drive by and pick up the course up? I went there today and I wasn't ready, and so they told me to come
Are
back.
you
I
teasing,
forgot.
Mark?
I'm serious.
no.
I am totally serious.
Why did
It'll
she
be
not?
fun though. It'll be an extra ride.
She should give it to you free if it wasn't ready.
Because I was supposed to pick it up.
That's embarrassing.
I told her I'd pick it up at 5, but I forgot.
It'll still be there.
Yeah, she better.
Boy, I hope you don't have sore feet.
I hope so, too.
They say one of the rule books that I've read says never buy
Wow,
new
with them again.
never buy new shoes to go to a
That's how he
dance.
gets ready
I'm
for
gonna,
school.
I'm gonna go. I don't know. Should I go wait outside?
Don't
Is
bring
that
your
your
date
date
in.
out
We
there?
got a video.
Yeah, she's out there. Go
Yeah, tell her to come in. Parker BMW.
How long are you gonna
You guys
be?
want a cookie?
No.
Oh, Mom, the cookies are burning.
They smell
Took
good.
'em out.
This is a madhouse when there's all these people living here.
Okay.
Go bring the two little kids in, the babies.
You don't know what it's like living with 9 kids.
I don't.
Oh, Dad.
There's only me and one other at home.
Everybody come in. Get by her. Come here, Stephen.
He wants to climb up and see the kids outside.
We don't want any spills.
What happened over there?
Don't touch them.
Cookies.
Joe, what happened, honey? Tell me.
Don't push her off.
What?
My ankle.
Your ankle came down on it wrong?
You know Amy, don't you?
Hi, Anna.
Hi.
You look so nice.
We have to go pick Get up that the away from me. I
We're videotaping for our brides.
Smart. Comb his hair now.
He was dressing in front of us.
I
His-
heard. She's on.
His hair is like. Oh, that's.
Right, Rod, you don't take it back.
This is a back view. I'd like it if you turn around. I have to be where the light's on here. It doesn't. If I'm over there, it doesn't film you.
How's this?
Oh, your hair looks so pretty, both of you.
Ooh, awesome from head to toe.
I like your bows.
That's right.
Yeah, right.
You look like a model tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you. I try.
Bryce, this is the new in look. It's a double-breasted look. Looks like he's a mob from Mob.
Get yourself a hat and those.
Yeah. I wanted a hat. I kind of wanted to wear one of those.
That's Mark.
It's like Al Capone or something. Cause I've got like these light pants, and a black shirt. I need to go buy a white tie,
Yeah,
black hat,
yeah.
That'd be cool.
walk around.
Oh, she touched those cookies.
I shouldn't have put them
Poor
there.
little baby.
I love twins. They're so much fun.
Do you know about twins?
I have some brothers.
You do? Younger or older? Huh?
They'll be 8 next month.
8?
They'll get baptized.
Our twins are just two. It's a boy and a girl.
This is one of them. The other one's over there somewhere.
What's your name again?
Mine's Amy.
Should I know you from the ward or something?
No, you should know me because I'm on council with them.
I don't know all his friends on council.
Whoa.
Are these all in your family or some neighbors?
They're all family.
This is how it is. One to the left.
No, I'm just kidding. These are mine.
4 of them are from Colorado.
He's
Yeah, I was gonna say.
he's one of those.
Ours.
The baby, the little girl is.
I'm from Colorado.
No,
This
you're
thing.
not.
I'm from Colorado.
No,
Beck
you're not.
asked
No,
me
I
that.
can tell.
Did you say it? I'm not.
Don't touch it,
Don't
Steven.
touch. She ain't from Colorado. She's from Utah.
How about you say it? Why don't you say it?
I thought
Idaho.
Where'd you touch? Where is it?
it's in my room somewhere. Oh, nice text, Mark. I heard about it.
You like it? It looks just like text, doesn't it? Not as
Isn't
much
it
as
just
this
a
one.
We
text?
got it from DI.
Yeah.
I told you.
See, I told her. I told her every
Does
time.
it look like a DI suit?
No.
Are you ready?
My
I'm
uncle
ready.
gets all of his
Should we
stuff
go?
at the DI.
Oh, guess what? Guess what else?
What else?
We have to go pick up his corsage on the way.
Wow, you're right on top of things there, Mark.
I went there. She didn't have it done. She told me to come back later, and I forgot.
Mark, you need to tuck your
Okay,
shirt
how
in
do I do
more or
this?
what?
Very, very
I don't know.
carefully. Make sure your
No, you
pants
want it-
don't
you want it this way.
I forgot to leave that thing on.
Mark, the car.
Thanks. Oh yeah. Does this look the same?
Hi, Anna.
It looks good. I
I'll
like
take
it.
a close-up picture of Mark.
Look, it even matches your, whatever that stuff's called.
You see what
Have some plastic.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know how to. You have to come close, okay?
No, Jennifer, you have to come closer. Remember?
Wait.
For real.
You guys are all dressing him.
Thanks. I'm dressing you already.
All right.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Sharon, move.
No, it's not.
Bye.
Bye. Hi, Bryce. Bye. Bye.
Bye, Emily. Bye, Ben. Bye, Keith. Bye, Rebecca. Bye.
Bye. Oh. Wait.
My parents won't let me. No.
I opened it. I opened it.
I am not riding. Sitting in the back. I am stuck.
Hold on. Mark. In your face. In your face. In your face. Get in the house. Ow. Whoa! Hey, watch
Do that
this,
again.
Dad! Dad, watch this!
Do it again, Em.
Watch this. Dad, watch this! Dad, watch this!
Okay, do it over by Emily and I'll watch it.
Yo! Yo! Would you get my ball?
Get her balloon before she loses it. The wind's gonna blow it away.
Would you get my ball?
There it went.
See how long we can see it.
You should have. Why didn't you hold it, Em? Where'd you get it, Em?
There's another pink one in there. There's another pink one in there.
Here, do you want me to get another pink one out for you?
Let's not bring them outside. The wind blows them away.
I can still see it. Dad, can you see it? Dad, look at it. Get it on close up in the camera.
I can't see it anymore.
No, it's over there in that cloud. Look, close by that cloud.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Can put the camcorder on.
Well, the camcorder can't pick it up. It's too small.
Get a close up.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
Steven, what you got? A cookie?
Hey, Emily, can you see? Emily,
Hey, Dad, watch my cheerleading.
Don't come so close. I don't get you a very good picture. You know.
Dad, watch.
No.
Why?
Prickly. Go ahead, but you'll hurt your hands and your feet.
I don't think so.
He doesn't think so.
E-R. Give me an R. Give me the L. Give me a S. Give me a P. Give me an R. K. What does that spell? I don't know. I don't know what the crap that spells. What the heck?
This is how we mark whack after we get rid of Mark.
Give me an M.
Let's party! Mark's gone.
Give me a R.
Give me
Give me a
tuck
K.
in my shirt.
K.
Give me a
What does it spell? Give me a D. Give me a O. Give me a N. What does it spell? Mark's gone! Yay! Grandpa, record me in the tree.
What's that voice from the tree?
I'm waving my. Holy cow.
Holy cow, where is he? Where is
Right
that
here.
boy? Hi. What are you doing up there?
Get out of the road, bird. Okay, you're gonna go in.
Don't hurt your feet. Don't hurt your hands.
Easy, like this.
No, Ben.
You don't have your
No, Ben. Don't climb in that tree, Ben.
See how well he mines?
Ben, let's play hands up. Hands up. Em, come on. Get over here.
That's a real fun game.
Don't let go of the balloon or it'll be gone.
Yeah, don't let go of it.
Anna just cried when she lost hers. You better give that one to Anna.
Hands
Give
up.
that balloon.
Say it.
You okay, Anna?
Say it. What? Hands
Hands
up.
up, stand up.
Say hands up, stand up.
Say hands up, stand up for us, please. Fine,
Dad,
hands up,
say it.
stand up.
Long way down, isn't it?
Well,
Hands up.
you're learning how, aren't you?
Hands up. Hands up. Stand up.
Watch this, Dad.
Watch how long I can do it. Maybe. Wait, that was a bad one.
Wasn't that nice?
Wait, that was a bad one.
Dad, watch this.
I have to find an even spot.
Dad, watch.
Dad, up here! Dad! Dad!
Sorry.
Dad, up here! Dad!
Daddy.
Dad, up here!
Where you at? What are you doing up there?
Doggy, come down from there.
Was that fun, Mikey?
Dad, there I did a good one.
Mikey, what have you been doing all day today? Don't come any closer.
Jumping on the tramp.
Did you go to the movies?
Yes.
Was that fun?
Yes. Ice cream? Yes. Did you eat it all? Yes. Keith didn't eat his. Let's swing him. Wash the dishes. Dad!
Okay with
Dad, up there!
That's a pretty good dance, Mikey.
Wash the dishes. Dry the dishes. Throw the dishes away. Hey!
He hurt his ankle out on that mean old tram.
Wash the dishes.
Have to go up again.
Wash the dishes, throw the dishes, throw the dishes away. Boo! He likes it. Wash the dishes, throw the dishes, throw the dishes away. Hey! Come on, Anna.
She's eating.
Anna, you having fun today?
Hey, Jimmy.
Smile if you're happy.
Ready? Ready? Oh.
Rebecca and
Wash
Anna.
the dishes, dry the dishes, throw the dishes away. Hey. Ah.
How was your climb?
Ready? He's ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm really hot.
Don't hit sister.
Move, Betty.
Anyway,
Wash the dishes, dry the dishes, throw the dishes away. Hey!
Becca, do that again. Becca made me mess up. You don't have the
Wait,
keys.
Do Ben one more time and then we'll do that.
Yeah, and you have to do it at the right time, Becca.
Okay.
Altar, but I still
Wow, man.
see
Long time no see, man.
that one doesn't work very good. I
Nice
gotta
sign.
go
Been
to
here
really
all
because
day.
tension. I look like a mess and you're taking my picture.
Were you there?
Becca, honey, look, we're getting you around the car.
What's that? I had a lab yesterday.
Why don't, are you gonna go get ready, Liz?
Hey, Mark, how was your date last night?
You just go ahead.
It's fun.
Are you going,
Tell me about
you want to
this.
go now, Max, go ahead, or I will.
Oh,
You want
What's
me to go
this?
first?
I don't care.
Honey, what do
That's
you want
a
to do?
glass.
What, honey? Yeah, cereal, I see it.
Can we put Krista in with us too?
Yeah, it'll probably be good for it.
I'll go down here.
Okay, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Come on, girlie.
Really?
Mark, tell me about your date, honey.
Hi, honey.
It's up at the,
I want to hear all the details.
This
it's at
supposed
the
to be your
Capitol. I don't
favorite
know.
part
I'm
of
gonna tell
the
you all
day.
the details.
Right. We're gonna go take a shower. Do you wanna do that?
Here, take some of this.
Guaranteed audience.
Who is it? It was at the Capitol. The Capitol's pretty cool. That's about it.
You went to a dance? Did you take her out to dinner anywhere?
Oh, if you look me.
Where'd you guys go to dinner?
Hot water.
Ben took all the hot water.
Where'd you guys go to dinner at? Huh?
At her house.
Oh, it was at the house, huh?
We asked for it.
How is that? How is
I
that?
asked for medium rare. They gave me medium well. That's what happens when you go to the inexperienced cook's house.
Two bears.
The bear.
Oh. They fun?
The car. It's car.
She's talking right
Joseph,
from
where are
here.
your shoes and socks, honey?
Mom, I don't know where my socks are.
Jerry, no, over there.
I don't know.
Inside.
Oh, I love it.
Got all the pictures of the children. We love Sister Day, and we're really happy. The mother of our Lord. Oh, yeah, we have a special song too. Oh, no, we didn't get to see it right here. I will show some of these. making people happy.
Mothers help us in many ways. Take us to the store, wash our clothes, they feed us, they teach us the gospel. We should show our mothers we love them. Mother is always there for me. If I perform or skin my knee, she taught me how to read a book, to tie my shoe, and even cook. I'm glad she taught me how to pray, so I can thank God for every day, for giving me a mom so sweet. Now, Mom, can I have my treat? I hope we can show our mothers love. My name is Christina.
That was real nice, Ben. That was a nice tribute to mothers. People were saying things about their own mothers today, the grown-ups in sacrament meeting. And I just want to say one thing about my own mother.
Mother's Day, May 10th, 1992. There's Jay's car. Jay and Sherry's, and there's Jocelyn's car she's visiting, and there's that Ford is Max and Aaron's. That's Mom and Howard's. Look at my beautiful pansies are blooming. Finally blooming after all this time. Hi, Jocelyn.
No, it's not my funnest thing to do with the kids.
I'm that kid.
Pillow fight with them. You can smash them as hard as you want.
When she dishes up on pieces of this and sit
Slide
on my
the
plate,
door,
okay?
start laughing.
I'm on my plate and I'll go get you.
You can take it out on your face.
Don't ruin those.
Ruin that? That's what's funny. If it gets playing and he gets hurt, if you spank him and he doesn't even get hurt that bad, but that's
They love the pillow fight because they smash me all at once, you know. Just sorry. That's about my friend.
Hurry, stop. Hurry, hurry,
I don't want to get up in that.
hurry, hurry, hurry.
Kind of slides off your level.
Mark.
It's not been your business.
What are you doing to me? Young lady?
What are you doing, Jay? You camera shy?
Put that camera away, Rod.
Amen.
Turn it up. Turn it up.
I can blackmail you with this.
No, you can't. My wife's right here by me.
I'll be right back from my ice cream.
Hi, Kelly.
How's it going?
Good.
Now we are on camera.
All right. What do
And
you
it's really recording this time. It's not Tom.
I was over at my house and they were trying to record us, but it wasn't on.
Tom, he's all boss. Boss, I can go record you now.
Who is that now?
My little brother Tom.
Tom Jensen?
No, Tom Griffiths. He's about this tall.
Oh.
Yeah, he's 10 years old. He looks just like Hunter.
Tom,
So if you want to know what he looks like, just look at that.
Grab that and bring it over to me.
What do you want to eat on
That's Howard's. No, that's Mom.
Okay, let
Just
me
take the
pass
picture.
it. Hi, Matt.
Hello. I'm making sure that kid right there stays on the train. They won't let him off.
Joe? Hey kids, time to get off the tramp now.
No! It's time to switch!
It's time to switch. Time to switch.
Mike, stay on! It's my turn. Get off, Keith! Keith! Mike! Mike! Keith! Get off! Why were you only get off? Why you only record him?
I'll record you. Tell me something fun. Will you do anything fun today?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Jump on the tramp. Get off.
Anything else?
Yes. Yeah.
You like that
I
bike?
had Joe's balloon and I threw it and then, you know what happened?
No, what happened?
The dirt came out and that's gonna be gasoline. It's going to be a rock bomb. I mean a gas bomb.
Hi, Anna.
You had a longer turn than I did. Where is that rock bomb?
Keith, are you kicking him?
No, I'm trying to get him off.
Keith, get off.
Anna, get off. Anna. Joe, it's just a double tramp. Yeah, but it's my turn.
Get off, Anna. Come on, off you come. Off you come.
And Keith took off this part. Now I have a thumb.
A thumb bomb, huh?
Yeah, I mean a thumb bang. A wiggly dumb thumb, red thumb.
A wiggly dumb thumb, red thumb, huh? Anna, take Keith and get off. You two get off.
Whoa, that was fast.
Okay, flip a little harder. Flip a little harder so you can come on your feet. Oh, nice. Joseph Nielsen, the trampoline jumper. How's the hand, Keith?
Dad, I want to show you how we do a front and back.
Okay, just a minute.
Front and then back.
If I let you get on, will you get off when I tell you to?
Stop. Keith, how far is this pumped up? It's not a pump, it's hard wheel. Oh, it's hard wheel? Yeah. That's what they are called. They're called hard wheels. Oh, I can see that this is broken off and I can see some hard concrete. This is concrete. I know.
Is it concrete in there? Concrete tire?
Yeah, it's a concrete tire. That's why it's so hard. Rod! Dad, can I do my front and back?
Let me see your trick.
My trick?
No, his.
Let me have a turn after him. After him, it's
Do a flip one more time, then I'm going to have you get off for a minute.
yeah, so I can show him how I do a front and back. I'm going next after him since I'm moving. No. I am Hyundai.
Mikey, do a trick, and then I'm going to have you get off, and then I'm going to have Keith get on, and then I'm going to have Joe get back on.
She wants to have a turn. What? Dad,
Do your trick, Mikey.
Dad,
Okay, she can have a turn.
Give
Do
him
something.
After him.
Woo!
After him.
Okay, Keith, your turn.
Come in the front and do me camcording ride my bike with no hands.
Okay, just a minute. I gotta do Ben's.
Watch this.
Okay.
Let's do record both. Watch.
Okay, I'm watching.
That's neat, huh? I'm not done. My turn.
Yeah, let Keith have a turn. Do your trick, Keith, and then we're gonna let Anna do a trick.
Then me. I'm not tricking. Wait, I messed up.
Yeah, that's a.
Now just do a stomach.
Okay, let Anna do a trick now.
Anna, how about that? Now hurry up. I can do this. Hey, stop it. Anna's turn.
Do a trick, Anna.
Okay. That's no trick. Hey, Dad. Dad, come on. Let's go. That's how she does that. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. You look good.
Today's May 22nd, 1992, and because Emily is doing a report in school, or not in school, I guess it's for church, isn't it, Em? About telling some stories about me. I want to tell a true story that happened to your dad when I was just a little boy. This story happened when I was either in the 5th or the 6th grade, which means I was approximately 11 years old at the time. Where we lived, there were these two great big trees behind our house, and we'd have all these leaves in our backyard. And so we went up and we raked all these leaves for about a week. We'd rake these leaves, and we'd get all these leaves, big piles of them. And the way we got rid of them back in those days, it's illegal now to burn, but we just started to put a match to them and burn them. These leaves would burn literally for like 3 days because they just kind of smolder and burn and smolder, and there'd be all this smoke coming out of them. While we were burning these leaves, my stepfather, whose name was Othie Young was quite a hunter and fisherman. He'd always go hunting and fishing a lot. And some of my best memories of fishing was going with Othie Young up to like Deadwood Reservoir and J.C. Strike Dam and fishing and stuff with Othie. He wasn't active in the church. He wasn't, to my knowledge, he wasn't even a member of the church. While we were burning these leaves, he took me out to see his friend out in the country. This would be like 10 miles from our house, about as far from here to Jane Sherry's. And when we got over there, he had some horses. They went out to do some, my stepfather, Othie, went out to do some things with the horses, and I went out exploring. And as I went out exploring, I was walking along a canal. In this canal, they were doing some controlled burning to burn the weeds at this canal. And as I was walking along, I noticed I was actually in the fire, because the fire was just on the ground. It wasn't in the trees or anything. There wasn't really any danger to speak of. But as I was walking along, I noticed that my leg was getting warm. And I thought that was peculiar, but I thought, well, I must have been standing in a hot spot, so I just moved casually a few feet away. And I noticed my foot was still getting warm. And I looked down, and there was my tennis shoe and my sock and part of my pants was actually on fire. And there was actually a blaze there. It was actually burning. I looked down and I saw that, and I took off running. It scared me. I took off running. I ran, just a few feet, maybe 10 feet or so. And as you run, what you do is you move that fire through the air, and it was actually flaring up. The fire was getting bigger instead of going out. And how I knew to drop to the ground and put the fire out, I don't know. But what I did is I got down and I threw dirt on it and first I rolled a couple times, and then I sat up and I threw dirt on my leg, and I put that fire out. Now I was really, really nervous when I went back to see Othie. Othie was really gruff and quite a rough person, and I was really worried what was going to happen to me when I went back and told him that I went out into this canal here and burned my pants and burned my tennis shoe up. And so I decided kind of as I got back to the car that I wouldn't tell him. So I got back, and normally he lets us ride in the back if we want, so I got in the back of his pickup. He had an old GMC. It wasn't old at the time. It was kind of a newish one, new GMC red pickup. And I got in the back of that bed of that pickup, and we got home kind of late that afternoon. Seems like that was a Friday. I don't know for sure. It just seems like it was well, maybe it was a Thursday. It was either Thursday or Friday. And as I got back to the house, I didn't know what to do. My leg hurt, but not unbearably. It didn't hurt really, really bad. It just kind of hurt. So what I did was I decided that I wouldn't do anything. So I went to bed that night, and I took my tennis shoes off and my pants off, and seems like I put them in a bag or something where no one would see them. I can't even really remember what I did with them. That's been too long ago, but I did something with them so no one would see them. And the next day, I went through the whole day just keeping my leg covered so no one could see that it was burned. Then the next day, this was 2 days later, Dale and I, you know your Uncle Dale? He was just a little kid at the time. He and I went to the park. And we got to the park, and they had what's one of those things where you spin around? A merry-go-round? They had a merry-go-round. We got on this merry-go-round, and we were playing. And as we were playing, it was one of those kind that you could get on the inside and run with it. And so I got on the inside and ran. And we had some kind of collision where we hit our legs together, and he fell. And Dale started crying about the fact that I hurt him. And he was going to tell Mother on me and stuff that I hurt him and stuff. And so I remember standing there thinking, I wonder how I can get Dale to stop crying. I remember that, really distinct. I remember that. And I says, Dale, what do you got to cry about? He says, look what you did to me. And I took my pant leg and I pulled it up and I showed him. In fact, see if the camera's on this scar here.
I will.
Huh.
Can't see it.
Let me see it.
Okay. Loosen where I told you there, Em, and lower it down. Lower the viewfinder down. This is my little boy, Stephen. He don't feel so good today. Can you see this scar here? Don't need to focus in. Just leave it on. Leave it on the same focus it's on there. I pulled my pant leg up, and this thing was just red and dirty, and it went from, see how it ends here and here? When this scar happened, because of the size of your leg and stuff, the scar almost touched back here. There was only a little tiny place there where it didn't touch. It was about that close from touching on the back of my leg. I mean, it was just huge, and as much bigger as it was this way, see, that's about that much bigger this way. It was also bigger this way, so it went up to here and down. See my ankle here? I don't know if you can see it on the camcorder, but it went down almost to my ankle, almost touched my ankle, and it went up to about here. And plus all the way around my leg. Huh?
What did he do?
So I told Dale, look what you did to me. What do you got to cry about? Look what you did to me. And Dale says, I didn't do that to you. I didn't. He stopped crying instantly. I says, I don't care what you say. I didn't do that to you. And I says, yeah, my leg kind of hurts so. And he says, well, let's go home and show Mom. So I went home and we walked from the park. We lived there in Nampa. We lived two blocks from the Lakeview Park. And So I walked home and got Mother and says, Mom, look at this leg here. I hurt my leg. And oh man, she grabbed me by the arm. She threw me, and we had a station wagon at the time. She says, get in that station wagon right this minute. And she got in there, and we just sped through the town to the doctor's office. We got to the doctor's office, and I was kind of worried then that he was going to do something and hurt me. Oh, it's just going to hurt, you know. Here I am, my leg's got a burn on it. And so we got to the doctor's office and took me in there, and he says, this is really, really dangerous because when you have a burn, it's open to all the germs and everything that's in the air. And your first line of defenses against infection is your skin. And when your skin is damaged this bad, it was a 3rd-degree burn, meaning that all the skin tissue is completely gone. And it's just open to the capillaries of the blood. And the doctor was really concerned. He immediately gave me a shot of antibiotics. And they tried to take the scabs off of my wound there, and they dressed it, and they put it in a thing. And so we got done. Now, what was I going to tell Mom? Because she wanted to know how this happened. Well, I didn't want to tell her that it happened out at Othie's friends, because Mom and Othie fought a lot, and I was kind of worried that if I told her that I'd cause more fighting. And besides, that happened 2 days before. And so I didn't want to tell her, well, I've been sitting around the house with this burn on my leg for 2 days without doing anything about it. And so she says to me, what happened? And I says, well, you know those leaves? Othie wanted the fire put out of those leaves, so we sprayed it with a hose, and then I was just kind of tramping around stirring the leaves up so the fire would be put out. And as I was doing that, I told her my pant leg caught on fire. In fact, to this day, that's been over 30 years ago that I told her this.
Total lie.
And to this day, when I've tried several times now, I've brought this story up about my leg being burnt, and I've tried to tell my mother that it didn't really happen in those leaves. And she won't believe me. She thinks now, anyhow, the way she tells me is that she thinks now that my memory is so bad that I'm thinking up a story. And she still believes to this day that it happened in those leaves that we were burning in her backyard. But it didn't happen in those leaves at all, but she still thinks that to this day. And the doctor was very concerned about my leg, and when I went to school I was really embarrassed because I then walked with a limp. In fact, for some reason, after he's treated it and put this bandage on it, I really had a hard time walking. And I thought, well, it'd be nice to get crutches, but Mother took me and tried to carry me into school one day. I was so embarrassed getting carried. I didn't want to be carried. I wanted her to put me down. I was so embarrassed.
Over you.
I was in either the 5th or the 6th grade, which would make me approximately 11 or maybe 12.
How would you like to be carried into your class?
I remember that I was too big a kid to be carried, but she wanted to carry me in to school, and I didn't want her to. So anyhow, I've been meaning for some time to tell you kids that story, and I put this on tape now so that someday maybe you can show your kids when this tape's long forgotten. They'll get it out and listen to this boring story.
Tell that one about the lake.
About the lake? Which one's that now?
The one where Grandma Bloom, I think, she jumped into the lake and after you because she thought you were drowning or something.
I don't remember that one. Rebecca just brought up an interesting one about Uncle Tom. As I mentioned, Othie liked to take us up fishing. And one of these fishing places that we went was on a place called the Deadwood Reservoir on the Deadwood River. The Deadwood River and Reservoir is up in a very pretty mountainous and a lot of pine trees. Very pretty area. And when you'd get up there to fish, you'd try to hold your line still, and there'd just be these buzz, just like a herd or like a, I don't know what to describe, just a cloud actually, a cloud of mosquitoes around you. And so my older brother Tom, I can't remember how old he was at the time. He must have been a sophomore or a junior in high school at the time. He had this idea that for some reason mosquitoes didn't like cigar smoke. And so he had a cigar, and I can remember him showing it to me, sort of with a glee in his eye. You know, I'm not going to be bothered by mosquitoes. In fact, I'd like to have Tom, I'd like to ask Tom his version of this story to see if I remember it right. But he would show me this cigar and says, I'm not going to have any trouble with mosquitoes.
How old was he?
He must have been like either a sophomore or maybe even a junior in high school at the time. So his idea is that he would puff on this cigar, he would get it burning, and the cigar would create smoke, and then he would blow the smoke around his face.
Did you ever smoke a cigar?
What?
Did you ever smoke?
No, I never did smoke one. I maybe tasted the smoke, but in fact he never inhaled it. He never really took it in his lungs. What he would do is he would pull on it, just holding the air in his mouth, and then he'd let the smoke go out around his face. So his theory was it would keep the mosquitoes out for him. It didn't have that much success keeping the mosquitoes off, but later that night...
Did he have to go talk to his bishop?
I don't know. I know that later that night he was sick from cigar smoke. We got back to the camp and he was just all pale and turning green from this cigar smoke. He was really sick. We had a stepbrother we had two stepbrothers from Othie. One name was Archie and the other was Archie. Archie was the older of the two, and he was really good athlete, and he loved to go fishing. And Archie, I came up on Archie on the Deadwood River, and he was standing there fishing, holding his line. And he didn't want to move his pole. He wanted to hold it real still, and he had his pole in one hand, his line in the other hand. And he must have had, I don't know how many mosquitoes on him. But he just completely ignored those mosquitoes. He ignored them completely and just would hold his line there. Wouldn't move to get the mosquitoes off or anything. He was so intent on fishing. Yeah, Stephen. He was so intent on fishing that he didn't move himself, and that we were really amazed that we called him the Iron Man after that because he wouldn't move.
Did he get mosquitoes?
Yeah, he just had a ton of them on him, but he didn't bother him. He just stood there and tried to catch a fish.
Did he catch one?
Yeah, we generally on those trips go back. What we do is catch fish during the day, and we go back to the cabin and we clean fish and have a fish fry at night and eat fish. I had kind of an interesting thing happen to me. Othie would keep buying these lures that when you do a kind of fishing called trolling, you'd have your motor set on real slow speed and you just go through the water and your bait would be behind the boat several feet. And there was a little mechanism called a lure on the line. The lure would spin, and as it spin it would attract fish, and they'd go there to look to see what that lure was doing. And then behind the lure, about that far or just a little ways, there would be a worm or salmon eggs for the fish to take. And we were out there fishing one day and I'd lost all my lures because my lures had got into tree stumps or whatever else. You know, we'd lose them in the river. It wasn't uncommon to lose them in the Deadwood Reservoir where we were doing this. And so we lost all of our lures and I didn't have a lure, and I was crying to Othie about wanting another lure, and he says no. He says I'd lost too many and he wasn't going to give me another one. And so I just took my bait, my worm, and put it on a hook and just cast it out. And I says, well, if we're going to fish, I guess I'll just ride along the boat here and, you know, have it out. What we did when we did this kind of fishing is whenever someone had a bite and said they had a fish, we'd turn off the motor of the boat. So we're going along fishing and I tell him, hey, turn the motor off, I got a bite, got a fish. And I pulled and it bent the pole. And so he says, no, he says, you got another tree. You got another tree on. And so I'd reel it in a little and I'd pull and it'd bend the thing, and I says, no, I says, I think I got a fish. And sure enough, about the third time I pulled, the line moved. The line moved out in the water. You could see where the line moved. So we knew that we had a fish. So I'm sitting there, I'm trying to get this fish in. And we get it right up to the boat.
Who is it?
We get the fish right up to the boat.
Man?
What? Who wants food?
Yeah, who wants?
Jaren. You want Jaren? I don't know.
So anyhow, the fish was right up to the boat, and we went to pull it in, and we couldn't pull it in, but we got it up out of the water. And these fish, they really, wiggle, and he wiggled himself off the hook. We got him out of the water, and it was a big fish. It would have been maybe the biggest fish we would have caught that day if we had caught him. But he got him up out of the water, and everyone saw it, and he fell back into the water. Then Othie, who was back by the motor of the boat, started to start the motor again. And he says, "Looky there." And I says, "What?" And he says, "Well, see the land there? When you first took that fish, we were going this way. And when we finally got it up to the boat and lost it, the fish had pulled hard enough on my pole that he had pulled the boat completely around, and we were facing the opposite direction." That's no lie. The boat was facing that way instead of that way. And we didn't catch that fish. That fish got away. That's my fish story. We always had a joke about the fisherman that would catch a fish this big. By the time he got back to camp, he'd be this big. By the time he got back to church to tell everyone how big a fish he was, he'd be this big. And so my brother, he had a way of telling a fish story. He'd put his hands up like this, and he says, "Well, I caught a fish this big." And everyone would say, "You mean from this hand to this hand?" He says, "No, I mean from this finger to this finger." That Archie, I told you I had a stepbrother named Archie, and Archie loved to go fishing, and he went fishing in what's called a drain ditch. Out there in Nampa, when you're around all those farms, they would have the water come in the canal. It would go down the furrows of the land where either the potato beets or whatever you're growing. And when it got to the end of the furrow, generally they wouldn't use the water again. It would just go into a ditch called a drain ditch. And these drain ditches were fairly small, but they have places in them with big, deep water. Well, Archie was out fishing in one of these drain ditches once, and he caught the largest fish ever caught out of a drain ditch up to that time. And he took it down. There was a picture of it in the paper. And so he brought it home and he put it in our fridge. And I can remember how good we all thought that fish was going to taste. We were all excited about this big fish that he caught, and he had his picture in the paper with this fish.
Dad, watch the babies.
Okay. I don't think Steffi feels so good.
Okay, go, Dad.
And what happened was he caught this great big fish, had his picture in the paper and everything. Then he put it in the fridge and wouldn't let anyone eat it, and the thing spoiled in the fridge. We had to throw it out. No one got to taste that fish. It was the biggest. See. How are you today? How are you today?
Dad, where's Archie and
Where are they at now?
yeah, where are they now?
Archie went to Oregon to live, and I actually visited him in Oregon after he was married. He's married and he had a set of twins and a couple other kids. Then I've kind of lost track of him. I believe now he lives over in Colorado or Wyoming. His stepbrother Archie, was always kind of a troublemaker. It seemed like he was always getting in trouble. You know how some people, like my next door neighbor Moppin, has these cars that make all this noise? Well, he had cars that he could fix them so they made noise. There's a thing that you put on your muffler, a muffler cap. And when I was a kid, he wanted to give me a ride in this car. I went out and got in it, and he had these muffler caps off, and it was going blah, 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 real loud. Well, it was the week of the Snake River Stampede. We lived about a half mile from the Snake River Stampede, and that was a famous rodeo, and the top cowboys in the nation would come to the Snake River Stampede to compete. Well, when they did this, a whole section of the highway would be closed off for parking, and there'd be a detour down around. Well, Archie forgot that it was the Snake River Stampede that day. And there was always policemen always around there, you know, patrolling the streets. So he says, "Do I want to ride?" And I says, "Yeah." I got in the ride, got in the car, and this car was going, ba 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 boom, ba ba boom. He drove up the street, turned, went 3 blocks, and turned again. And he, instead of turning away from the Snake River Stampede, he turned right toward it. So we went over a little hill. We started down this hill, and there 2 blocks away was like 4 police cars. And here his car is illegal as heck making this noise. Ba 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 boom. You know, he hit the brake, he pulled over, and he stopped, and he got out. And I didn't know what was going on. I was just a young kid at the time, and I says, I got out to try to help him. I says, "What's going on?" He says, he whispered to me, he says, "Well," he says, "this car is illegal making this because the muffler isn't set up right, and it's making this noise." And so he's under there fixing his car, putting these caps on so it won't make that noise. And as he's doing that, a patrolman drives up and stops. Gets out. "What's the matter?" He said. And Archie said, "Oh, nothing, nothing." He says, "I got a little problem down here with my car, but I got some tools. I'm just working on it for a minute." And the patrolman said, "Okay," and left. But when I got back in the car, it took him a few minutes to do this. When we got back in the car to leave, the car was going, just like a regular car. We kind of lost track of Archie. We did hear that he had a run-in with the law, and we don't really know. It's possible that he was sent to jail for a while, and from then till now, we don't know what's happened to him.
No, Steph.
Okay, you guys want to know anything else about my youth? Any other funny
Were you
stories?
cute?
Yeah, I thought I was pretty cute. In fact, I learned later, after I left high school, that I was fairly popular in high school. I was working in Boise. This was like about 10 years after high school. And I met this girl, and we started talking, and come to find out, she knew me real well, and I couldn't remember her. And I says, "I couldn't remember you." And she says, "Well, God," says, she says, "I can believe that. I wasn't popular like you." And I says, "Get her out from under there. With that whole camera will fall over and break it. You got to stand there and hold that tripod, or keep the kids away from it. If the kids get by it, you got to stand and hold it.
Okay, got it.
I don't want that camera broken." When I asked her why I was popular, she says, "Well," she says, "you were in track and you were in this." And so I started thinking about what she was telling me, and it dawned on me that I was on the sophomore football team, I was in track, I was in choir, and I was in a singing group called the Madrigals, and we put on, that was like 16 singers. And this 16 singing group, we'd go around and put on these concerts for people in the community, plus different school things. We'd put on these concerts. And one of the funniest things that ever happened to me when this singing group was we learned the school fight song. And our school mascot was Bulldogs. We were the Nampa High Bulldogs. And we learned this song. We learned this song, and we were supposed to go to this place where the whole student body would come in the gym and sit in the bleachers and watch us. And the purpose, we thought, was that the student body was going to learn the song, and they had some music there, and they passed it out to the kids as they came in. So what the director told us to do was, when you sing this song, the first time we're going to stand together in a group. So we stood in sort of an arc like this to sing this song. I have a hard time concentrating while you're doing that. What are you doing?
She won't hold it straight. It's on off the thing, and she's going.
Yeah.
Yeah, Becca,
Oh, Beck.
watch your feet.
Call, Beck. You have it way up.
Needs to be tightened again, maybe. It looks like the little thing behind is loose. This is my boy Steven. He's only 2. He likes his thumb. You like to suck your thumb and play with your horse?
Don't suck your thumb.
after the first time that we sang through this song, then the director said that we were supposed to divide out and then stand facing the audience apart. Well, we sang through it once, and then I was on the end of the line, so I stepped back and divided out. But no one else did. The others all stayed in the same formation, so it went all of them like this. We're standing in a kind of a semicircle, and then about 2 steps away, here I was standing over here completely by myself. I got over there, and being a youth, realizing that they weren't going to divide out after we started singing the song, I didn't know what to do, so I just thought, well, should I move back and stand with the other kids, or should I just stand there by myself? And so I stood there by myself the whole time. I was kind of hot under the collar because I was a little bit nervous about standing by myself. So during this time I ran cross country and track, and in cross country and track, that's where you run a 2-mile race or a mile race. And I ran the mile race. So we went to track practice that night, which was generally just a bunch of running, like you go out and run 5 miles, jog 5 miles for practice. I went to track practice that night, and all the kids were razzing me about how I must have not used my deodorant that morning or something. And I'm trying to figure out what they were talking about, whether they were razzing me about the fact that I had stood away from the rest of the kids. That was one of my more embarrassing moments at school.
Dad, you were talking about that girl that you met, and she knew you, but you didn't know her.
Mm-hmm.
And what did she say?
Well, she said actually that I was fairly popular, and I was kind of thinking back after she said it, and I was in these groups. See, I was in this singing group. We put on assemblies. I was in sophomore basketball as a youth. I was one of the last kids cut. In fact, when they cut me, I didn't make the team. I almost made the team, but I didn't make the team. And when I didn't make the team, that when they cut me, they said that I was an inspiration because I played with a lot of enthusiasm and played real hard. As a senior, 3 years later, I was playing on we had PE groups, and in the PE group, the coach set up a horse competition. And it was just the game of horse where you shoot the basketball and, you know, everyone gets a letter. We played it out back. There were about 4 kids that were in this horse competition that were on the school team. And so everyone was thinking, well, these are going to be the kids that are going to win the competition. And that's one of my glories today, is that I won that horse competition. I won our class, and then the winner of the 2 classes met at night and played. And we met at night, and I beat this other kid, and I really got a lot of popularity out of that, anyhow, from the boys. I was razzed around the school about how the fact I couldn't make the basketball team, yet I was the best shot in the school. Of course, they were only joking. There was no one guarding me, but I won that game. In fact, I remember my mother had taken me out, and we had looked and looked, and we finally found these tennis shoes that we could afford. And these tennis shoes, for some reason, when I looked down at my foot, they made my foot look bigger. I don't know why. They made the toe of my foot look bigger. Just the way they were built, the construction of them. And I remember thinking that the reason that I won that thing is that I had a better platform, because I thought after I got these shoes, I thought it made my basketball better. So when those shoes wore out and I went to buy new shoes, I was looking for some more that made my foot look bigger. Don't know if that had anything to do with it or not, but I remember thinking that as a kid.
Mark.
Okay, well, I guess that's the end of my
Did
stories.
you get all A's?
No, in fact, in school I didn't get all A's. I wasn't a very good student. I didn't do very well. In fact, I kind of had some trouble in some of my classes.
That's true for the
As a youth and even as an adult now, I still have kind of trouble spelling. I could work real hard on my spelling test, and I could remember memorizing these words. I couldn't just hear the sounds and sound them out. But what I'd do is I'd memorize these words, and the spelling test would be 10 words, okay? So I memorized 10 words. I'd go a few hours later, I'd take the spelling test, and I'd miss, say, 9 out of the 10. And when I got my paper back and I missed these 10 words, I'd look at the words and I'd leave out one letter, or I'd have the E before the I instead of the I before the E. I'd
Yeah,
have
that's what
something turned
happens
around.
to me.
So I'd miss all these words, but I'd only miss them by one letter, because I couldn't remember how they went. I've had other words that I've memorized so well that I can just, like receive or something like that, that I memorized real well, and I could just spell it. And I can spell it correct most of the time. Then if I don't use it for like a month or 2 or 3, and then I go to write something, I'll misspell even that word that I had memorized real well. I'll leave a letter out,
Yeah, that's what I do too.
or I'll
I'm just
cross
like
letter. But today, thank goodness, where I work, they have a computer, and this computer has spell check on it. And what I do is I just type out what I want to say, and then I hit the spell checker, and the spell checker goes through and corrects my spelling. Hi,
That's
Stephen.
why you don't need
You would sound like
spelling.
an idiot.
What?
If you didn't do that, you would sound like an idiot.
You didn't have spell check.
If you didn't have spell check, you would sound like an idiot.
Yeah, if I let my letters go out without correct spelling.
They'd laugh.
It was one of my problems in school. In fact, I turned in essays and stuff that the teachers passed me on and gave me C's in high school. But they said that my content, if I would learn how to spell the words, my content would have gave me an A. But because my composition was so bad, and the spelling and the grammar portion that they would only give me a C on them. I didn't really care though, as long as it got me graduated, and I did graduate eventually. That was a lot of years ago.
Did you ever get your badge, your merit badges and stuff?
No, in scouting I never was too good at getting stuff. I never. But bring me a banana for her, please.
Where?
In my scouting, the troop was not very well organized, and it seemed like the only one that I can really remember getting anything was the scoutmaster's son. Their name was Peterson, and they got some stuff, but the rest of us, I don't remember any of the youth really getting anything. I remember they took us on a lot of campouts, and when I was a scoutmaster with Brother Wilson, in fact, that's when you were in there, Mark, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I tried to take the kids on a lot of campouts, even though I wasn't very good at getting them promoted. I did take them on campouts.
How'd you meet Mom?
How'd I meet Mom? Well, I went over to Boise State, and I was enrolled there as a student at Boise State University. This was after my mission. And while we were enrolled there, I started going to the Institute of Religion. We'd gone there all semester. This was near the end of the semester now. And I went back to the Institute of Religion, and I liked to play chess, and there was a chess set there, and I'd set this chess set up, and these guys would come and play me. It was a large room, and there were kids sitting around the edges of the room doing stuff, and Mom was sitting in, your mother was sitting in one of these chairs writing these letters. And so I don't know why, I thought she was a pretty girl, and so I went over and talked to her and find out what she was doing. She was writing these letters, and she had an assignment from the Institute to write all the missionaries and all the servicemen. And it was kind of a form letter, but then on the letter she would like sign it or add something personal at the end of this letter. And so I started talking to her, and I told her that I had a brother in Thailand, in the military. Thailand or Vietnam, I can't remember now. Thailand, I think it was. Anyhow, it was Jay. We started looking through the letters, and sure enough, we found a letter to Jay. And so I added my own note to Jay on this letter, and then I put it in the envelope and helped to do those letters. And then I was actually there playing chess, so I went back to playing chess. That's how I met her. About, I I can't remember if it was the same day or another day, but I was there playing chess, and a guy came up to Mother, and he stood real close to the chair, and he wanted to take her to this dance. It was either school dance or institute dance. I can't remember. It seems like it was institute. Wanted to take her to this dance, and this was a Mark, hold that or it'll fall.
Stevie, don't know.
It's not very sturdy, and if he plays with it, he could make the whole.
Don't get away.
Come here, Stephen. Come over here by Daddy. Bring your dolly. Show Daddy your dolly.
Okay, Dad, what?
So this guy was kind of being actually obnoxious because even though I was several chairs away playing my chess game, I could overhear him talking to her, to Liz. And it kind of bugged me a little bit because he was kind of being a little bit too forceful. So Liz went to take a test, I guess. Anyhow, she went somewhere. The guy left and nothing happened. Well, about a couple hours later, don't you want your banana, honey? A couple hours later, Liz is back over there. And she said she felt like going home, but she thought, well, no, she'd go back to the institute for a little while. So Liz was there, and I'm having a hard time concentrating with these kids walking around acting so sick. Liz was there, and this guy was so insistent, even though he'd been turned down once, he came up again and started talking to Liz and wanted to go on this date. He was talking so loud that we could all hear it. And so finally Liz said that she had a date. And he said, you got a date? Well, who is it? Who is it? You know, and he was really being belligerent. And Liz didn't know what to say because really, I guess it was kind of a white lie because she really didn't have a date. And so I'd heard about all this I could take. And this guy was really making me upset the way he was talking to her. And so without even knowing your mom, I went over and I came up beside him and I says, I'm her date. And this guy had he was real heavy set. He was quite a bit taller than me. He was like 4 inches taller than me. And I swear, the way he turned and looked at me, I thought I was going to get my lights punched out. I mean, I was ready to duck or run, whatever I had to do. And he said something like the fact that I didn't have a date with Liz. I said, yeah, I did. She says, I got a date with her. So he got all grumpy and he turned and he walked out. And so I sat down and talked to Liz for a minute. And I can't remember even what we said, but we talked for a minute. She was thanking me for getting that guy off her neck and off her back. And so I went over and I finished my chess game. It just took me another couple minutes to win. I was winning about every game. I'm lucky at chess. Afterwards, I went over and Liz and I went into the area where the ping pong was. And we played ping pong and she beat me at ping pong. And then I thought that's all there was going to be to it. I just was getting rid of that guy. I didn't know anything more was going to come of it. Well, there was some basketball going on in the gym, and I started playing basketball, and Liz was there watching me play this basketball. And so I thought, well, she must like me a little bit. And her friend, Gloria Fastavin, who was there at the institute, called me and signaled me, come over and talk to her. I went over, and she said how Liz liked me, and I should, ask her out. And I said, I didn't really want to ask her out. Didn't feel like asking her out. So he says, no, ask her out, ask her out. And so she kept after me until I did. I went over and I says, this dance you and I were talking about, and this other guy, and I says, yeah. And I says, why don't you and I go to that? And she says, okay, we'll go. And I arranged the date. We got done arranging the date, and we went out to. I asked her how she was getting home, and she needed a ride home. She lived close to there, but she was on foot. So I says to her, I says, well, let me give you a ride home. We went out, and my car wouldn't start. We had a little Volkswagen. So her and I and George, it seems like, pushed the car, and we got it started, and I drove to her house. Got to her house, and she didn't let me just leave. She invited me in. That's when I first met her mother. Her mother had some hamburger steaks there. I can't remember. It seems like it was steaks. Anyhow, she insisted I stay and eat. That was one thing about your Grandma Hall. She always liked to feed everyone that came. She didn't want people to go away hungry. She'd always ask 3 or 4 times if you were hungry and wanted something to eat. So I says, well, don't go out of your way. Yeah, a little sandwich would be good or something. So they fixed me some potatoes and a steak, and we ate and visited. And it seems like there was snow on the ground because Liz and I went out back and built a little snowman. I don't know why we did that. So I left, and the night of this dance that this guy was asking her to, I had to work graveyard. I was working at the sugar factory unloading railroad cars at the time for my work, and the night of the date it happened that I was scheduled to work, and I had to work and couldn't get out of it. So I went to work, and Liz still remembers the night I stood her up. First date I stood her up for. But that wasn't the worst thing I did. We dated a couple times, and this was like 3 or 4.
You didn't even call her?
Yeah, I think I called her and told her.
You never dated me before you played that trick on me.
I never dated you before I played that trick on
No.
you? Okay, she's correcting my memory here. Memory has a way of diffusing facts. I was talking to this Gloria Fastaban, and we decided that we would play a trick on Liz. We were in Boise, and we were driving to Nampa, which is about 30 miles away, and so we had
You were
time.
gonna try to see how much I liked you.
Yeah. So anyhow, we had time to think up this trick. So we got to Gloria's house, and the trick is that Gloria would set Liz up with a blind date. So Gloria called Liz and said, are you going to this particular dance? And Liz said she was thinking about going stag, which that means alone. She was thinking about going alone, but she didn't know. She didn't know if she wanted to go alone or not. So hi, Keith. Key man. So Gloria called from Nampa long distance and set up this blind date. Well, we waited about 10 minutes and we called back. And this time I called back and I asked Liz if she'd go to this dance with me. Because we wanted to see if she'd call Gloria back to get out of this blind date. Well, the blind date was with me. Liz didn't know that when I called her. And it was sort of like a test, but Liz said that she wanted to go with me, that she'd rather go with me. Didn't you, honey?
Yeah.
But she couldn't get out of it because she didn't want to call her friend back and get out of this blind date. So I said I understood and that I might see her at the dance or something, so I hung up.
Oh, jeez.
So we went and got cleaned up, got all dressed up and everything. We went over and picked up Gloria's date. Gloria and I drove back to Boise and we picked up her date, and so there was the 3 of us. And we went down to the house, and Gloria said that she couldn't wait in the car. She had to see what Liz was going to do. So we went up to the door and we knocked. We'd opened the screen door, so we were standing right by the door, and we knocked on the door. Liz opened the door. It seemed like I said, "Hi, I'm your blind date." And Liz looked at me and slammed the door right in my face. And Gloria and I were just laughing.
I'm not going to give you turkey.
Did you say that?
I'm going to eat turkey.
So anyway, she slammed the door in my face, and we knocked, and she opened the door, and then she was kind of laughing about it a little bit, aren't you? So we went in the car, and that was my first date with you, I guess. Or second, was it first?
You went? I wouldn't have gone. No, I probably would have.
Gloria was out there, so I had to go.
Same as you always are.
She didn't want to go, but she had to go. Didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
I wanted to go. I didn't like the way Dad dressed. He was such a nerd. I thought he was a handsome kid, but he just dressed like a nerd.
We got married. I had this white coat that I liked, and I'd wear this white coat
I always
everywhere.
dress like a nerd. People don't change, do they?
I like this white
Well,
coat.
understood.
His pants. That was fancy.
Floods, you got the floods on. I had had this white coat that I liked, and we got married. And I came home, and I was going to go somewhere, and I says, I couldn't find my white coat. Where's my white coat? I couldn't find it. I said, I don't know what happened to my white coat. Liz says, oh, don't worry about it. Well, maybe we'll get you another coat somewhere. And I says, okay.
Is this when you were married?
This was right after we were married. We got married, and I didn't have this white coat. I wanted this white coat. So we went and got in the car and went somewhere. And it was about 2 months later I found out that she had hated that white coat. Bryce and Mark went to California. No, Liz went to California to help her brother Gary out. She was gone for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I was taking care of Bryce and Mark. And Bryce and Mark and I went to greet Mom at the airport. We got out there, and Mom was all mad when she got home. She greeted us pretty happy, and then she was upset about something, and I didn't know what she was upset about. Well, during the time she was gone, I'd gone to the store and I'd found another white coat. I'd found another coat, similar to that one I liked, and I bought it. So what she was upset about was that I'd come up there dressed in this white coat. She wanted to get rid of this white coat, this coat. She wanted to know where the receipt was and stuff. We got to take that back. And so we ended up taking that white coat back.
What was it? Was it just total nerd coat?
It's just nerd. Something that was nerdy.
Why did you like it, Dad?
I don't know.
Why do you like nerdy stuff?
What else happened while we were growing up?
You just still dressed like
There's
that.
this boy in my class, and he is so nerd. We call him Wide Urkel.
Remember that?
And
Remember when you left me with?
everyone
Leroy
calls him a
Leroy.
nerd, and once I called him a nerd, and he goes, I'm not a nerd. A nerd has a pocket watch, weird glasses. He has weird glasses, suspenders, just because he doesn't have suspenders. Says, look, I don't have a pocket watch.
Remember when Bryce was in that wreck? We were in that wreck with Bryce. He was 10 months old.
Oh, yeah.
We got a call late at night. Don't turn it.
Tell the one about
Dad, can't
Nope.
turn it over here. I just got out of the shower.
Well, you got to tell the story.
Well, Bryce
Tell him about that nerd.
Bryce was 10 months old. And we had just gotten a call about 10 o'clock at night that Rod's grandfather was in town and wanted to see us. I said, well, okay, maybe we can come up. Well, we got up to Fairview Avenue, and
Here first.
you know the cross street on Fairview Avenue that we got in the wreck?
Remember it was raining.
Which street was it? Fairview and what?
Fairview and Overland or something like that.
Fairview and Overland?
It was the first one as you go up the hill
Car
from Boise
ran
River.
a red stop sign and pulled in front of us, and we hit it. And there was about 4 other cars involved, but one of the cars left because we knew he'd left because
Mark, hold that.
we had some white paint on the side of the car, so we knew that car didn't stay around.
See, one,
anyway,
two,
I was
three.
nursing
Yeah, there was 4
Bryce.
cars in the wreck.
I was nursing Bryce.
In the wreck?
Yeah. When we got in the wreck, I was.
Well, it was really weird. I was coming up a hill like this. I was coming up the hill, and a car on an illegal left-hand turn. There was no left-hand turns there. Turned left right in front of me, and it was raining. And I hit the back of his car, spun him around like this, and there was a car over here parked, waiting to go through the intersection. Hit this car, knocked this car into this car, and so there was 4 cars. It was like a chain reaction of 4 cars in the wreck. But one of the cars that was in the wreck, the back one hurried up and drove away before the police got there. The reason that they left is, we think anyhow, is they didn't have any insurance. It was just minor damage to their bumper. Light bulb, broke their light bulb
Because
out.
one of them were a bad guy.
Oh no, don't touch.
But I
No,
was,
we just don't think they had insurance.
I was nursing Bryce, and when I nursed, I used Kotex pads cut in half.
For nursing pads, because your breasts leak a little.
Leak a lot.
She was using that to collect the milk, and she had him up here nursing, and this thing fell on the ground.
You always
So,
interrupt her.
so here comes the police officer, and he's walking along, and he's looking around, and he sees this white thing, and he picks up. What's this?
He said, "Is this yours?" And I said, "Yeah." So then Bryce was just screaming his head off because he didn't like getting interrupted, and he didn't like the big crash sound. And we went and we had to go sit in the police car. And Bryce would not be quiet. He would not stop crying. And so the policeman had a drink of pop with a straw, and he gave it to Bryce. Bryce, that was the first time we'd seen him drink out of a straw.
Was he able to drink out of the straw?
Come here.
Mama, I'm older brother. Come here, no, Mommy.
What's the matter, Steffi?
She's sick, Dad. She needs to go to the doctor. Not feeling good.
Hi, Steven.
She always sets her thumb.
Dad, over here. On Mark.
No, don't come to me.
On Mark. Real quick, I want to show you something.
Where'd he go?
He's by you. He's underneath the...
Well, I can't get him if he's under the tripod.
If you put it down, you can see his mouth
Look what my friend did, my face.
sticking out.
What is it?
What is it?
Ink?
Scars.
Who? Is that your friend Lanny that's really...
Nancy.
Is it scars or ink?
We were playing, and I guess she had this ring on.
Let me
Just
look at
kidding.
it. Let me look at them closer. I thought they were just pin marks, but she actually cut you. My goodness.
She had this ring on.
Does she
and
know
she
she
cut it
done
with-
that?
Today she knew. Yesterday she found out because I go, look what happened yesterday. We were fighting.
What'd she say?
She goes, I would have known with my fingernail. Must have been with this ring.
Is that your friend that likes Monopoly?
Yes, and she always comes over. Becca?
Keithers.
Emily, don't laugh like that. That's an ugly laugh. Look at Emily dance.
Look at Steven, Dad. Look at that little boy now. Horsey, now man on the horse.
He's gonna fall.
That little boy is the horsey, that man on the horsey.
Well done, Steven.
Hang on tighter, dude. I'm trying not to let him fall.
Hang on to his hair.
Gotta
Is he
see
smiling?
You can't see his face, Dad. Turn around, Mark.
Grab onto his hair like this. Grab onto his hair.
No, I don't want him grabbing on my head.
Sit up. And hold on.
Hold on to his shirt.
Leave him alone.
Let him hold on to your shirt, then he won't fall off.
Ooh. He's just about falling off. What's he doing?
Playing
Time to
socks
dismount.
now. Get on the horse instead. Stephanie's turn.
Oh, that hurt.
Stephanie's got his eye.
Keith, sit up.
Hey, hold on.
What changed your pants?
Steffi's pooey.
Oh, she is.
Ah.
Let her on. Keep go change and then you can get on.
Whoa.
Be careful.
Oh God, you go right there.
Sharon has mono. Ha 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 ha.
Mono breath has mono. And Dad's gonna get it. Dad already has it probably.
So, Mark, are you happy to be out of high school, son?
No.
What's your feelings being out of high school?
Leave. No more homework for a while. I hate it.
When is your When is your last day of classes?
Next Friday.
You get off before the other kids.
I get off Tuesday. Monday I don't have school.
This Monday? Yeah, and you get off next Friday, huh? You only have 4 more days of school. What are they gonna do those 4 days of school?
Steven's lip is gonna go like
Practice.
this because it's dumb.
Oh,
Graduation
so
practice.
this next week is your graduation practice days, huh?
Well, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is school. It's my
They can-
last.
They're gonna take my recommendation on the
It's dipped in
formation.
nuts and honey.
Too hard to do, huh?
Did you offer it
I
too?
guess.
Did
Yeah.
you say something?
I said something to the student body. They must not have said anything. Either that or they couldn't get
You
it.
gotta do another dip. Cause you can't stop double dipping. Kellogg's double dip crunch.
Yeah, I know when I made that recommendation, I know it'd be hard to do because you have to plan it out too much.
Okay.
Hey, Dad.
1, 2, 3, ready, and
song
one.
sing
Sing
for
the help
the
for the
camcorder. I'll hold the camcorder and you
When?
sing one of your songs.
9.
How long
Can
will you be
probably.
over there?
Dad,
I can
Sing
look
a
up
song
the
and I'll
road
hold
see
the
if he's got
camcorder,
the
okay?
sod yet.
Sod's supposed to come and.
who? Mark, where are you going?
Today is June 1, 1992. I was home here tending the kids, and my twins are 2 years old, and this is what I found them doing. Got to wash your hands off. Hey, what are you guys doing? No, leave your shirt on. Leave your shirt on, honey. What? What's the matter with your shirt? Come here. Come here. Where are you going? Stand back just a little bit. What? Stand right there. Come here. Stephanie, go get your shirt and take it in the house. Your shirt dirty? Stephanie, is your shirt dirty?
I'm going to a party, kid.
Park?
What?
What are you going to?
Party.
When's the car gonna be home? Huh?
8.
That's only a half hour.
Okay. 10.
I supposedly have some tax business I'm supposed to do tonight, but I think I accidentally left it at work.
You want a phone number?
Yeah, I better get the phone number. Is it close to here?
No.
Well, I'll just not go tonight.
Thanks for your help.
Yeah, I didn't do much. There's kids behind you. Come here, Steppy. Mark, where you going?
Stephanie's right there. To a party.
Come here, Steph.
Dad, am I busy right now?
I don't know. Come out here and play on camera for a minute. There goes Mark. He's graduating from high school this Thursday. Where's Mark at, Steven? Is Mark gone? Where's Mark at? Yeah, he's gone, isn't he? She can see someone over at DePooley's house. He's yelling hi to someone. Hi! Don't put your thumb in your mouth. It's dirty, honey. A dirty thumb. It's the newest thing Stephanie learned is to stay high. She'll say hi to anyone that comes by. Say hi even to the... Get out of the road! Don't go on the road. Hi, Philip. What'd you find? Balloon? Tony's up there working on his car. Stephanie's saying hi to him. Not getting a very good picture there because we're facing the sun. Just getting a picture of what you guys are doing.
We're playing war, Dad. Come in here and get my hideout out behind me. Dad, I made a hideout here. Come on. Do something. Dad, come on. We're having war. This is yours in case you find the bubble gun. Okay? Yeah, because I need this camera. Wait, get out. We're going to get out. We're going to show them everything in our hideout. I will.
There's Keith and Philip Monafu and Benjamin, of course.
Incoming. And here's some stuff.
That's Cameron Webb.
Wait, guess what? Picture of our hideout. Say this is their hideout. This is Ben's and Philip's hideout. And over there, our hideout, and over there. We get 2 hideouts. We get 2 hideouts. You got 2. We got 3. We got 3 then. We got 4. Cameron, they don't know where our 3 one is. Our 3 one is. Then we get 3. Yeah. We each get 3. Oh, second one on the truck. The truck under the truck is our hideout. Come on, Phil. Phil, come on. Back to that 3 is our hideout.
You got a hammer in your hideout?
Yeah. Yep. It's for a laser gun.
Well, you guys don't be pounding anything in these fences.
I'll show you. Some things I bought. What?
What'd you buy, Cameron? Oh, those are awesome.
No. Yeah. Why?
That's not a hammer, that's a mallet. What are you gonna do with it, Keith?
Hammer something in.
Well, you hammer into the tree, not into the fence.
I got it.
What's that, Ben, you're doing?
For our supplies, all our guns and stuff.
Well, you even got 2 chairs in there, huh?
What?
What are those white things?
Sit down.
That way you can rest when you're at war, huh?
Here. Mine's up. We're going to put it in here. That's all our supplies. Ah! Keith! Let's go find some more weapons. Okay. And why don't you ever camcorder us and Cameron? That's us.
What do you want me to?
Go, Phil. We don't need it, the bubbles.
What do you want me to cam?
In case you want the turtle gun. Yeah. Cameron, no. No, we don't need to use it. This side in the war. You guys put it in the garage. Put it in here. No, that's our. No, we don't put it in there. Yeah. In the garage. No one knows. No, what's that? What? find some place to put our stuff. Well, get to these. Put it under number 3 hideout. Put it under number 2. Number 2 is right there. Go back to number 3. You get me. We got 2. Gosh. Come on, let's just put our stuff in there. This is a ball. This is a ball. Wait, what? I'm gonna put the bubble. All my stuff in there. And then number 3.
Cameron, don't go for a minute. Just stay in here and visit for a minute.
Food on it?
Don't go yet. I'll show you how to do it. I know how to do it. I'll be that guy. I'll take yours.
What do you got?
Who got that?
3 strikes, you're out. No, we have to do stuff on the
Isn't that cute? Stephanie, look at Daddy. Oh, boy.
So does Steven.
Who gave you bubbles? Marilee?
Oh,
Give Marilee a hug. 'Cause she's nice.
Look, Marilee gave all those two, so give Marilee hugs. Give Marilee hugs. Say thank you, Marilee. Turn to the camera.
Oh, nice. Give Marilee a hug. Let her open it. She wants to do it. It's her birthday. Oh. Fun. Who's that from?
Cameron, I have a cow.
Oh, where did Cameron go?
Outside the...
Oh, look at that. Oh, boy. Look
Wait a
at
minute,
that.
wait.
Shoes. A hair bow.
Don't stand there with the door open.
Let me see, so you don't break it.
Move, Stinky. You need a pair of scissors. Here, Emily.
Let's put them on your feet.
Did you already get it
Steph.
off? Here, cut it off that one side with the scissors. Hold it this way towards her. Oh, no.
Can I see this?
Kind
I'm
of
gonna do
nasty.
something.
It goes under his plate where he eats.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Oh, it's a placemat. You like that bow? You like the bow Marilee gave you? Give Marilee a hug.
No, Marilee didn't go give.
Marilee gave her the bow.
Karen gave you her
The bow in her hair, though. Don't throw it on the floor.
That's where it was supposed to be. That's where it was.
Cute. Isn't that cute?
Stand up and show the camera what you got.
Oh, boy. Did you get in that car, Marilee? He loves cars.
Love Marilee, Stephanie. Say thank you, Marilee.
We'll give her hugs.
Give Marilee's hugs. Give Marilee hugs. Give her big hugs. Kisses.
this dinner. Open it?
Yeah.
I have to feed you. Can we eat first and then we'll open it? Huh? You want to blow it for the camera?
Yeah.
Are you hungry?
So
Are you hungry, Stephanie?
a brand new
Stephanie, look at me.
car.
Are you hungry?
Wow. Can drive, yeah.
Where's a pencil?
Show the camera what you got. Say, I got a car.
Do you like it? Is it pretty? I bet there's a bucket around here you can put it in.
Oh, cute. Show them what else you got. You got bubbles.
Did he get a present from Cameron?
Yeah, he got a bat and a ball, but they ran off
Well,
with it.
took it and played with it. This is cute.
Hey, don't do that. That's for Steven and Stephanie.
I want to draw it. I want to draw it.
I said no. Look what else they got, Dad. Placemats. For
Pretty.
Merrily.
It's on the back of this.
They're both the same.
Are they not working?
No, I said no, okay? It's theirs. No! It's theirs. I want them to do it. Don't do it for your head. Blow it slowly. Blow it slowly, go. After we eat.
I'll open it for him. Let's see if you can blow one.
Uh-oh, be careful.
Don't bend over. She jumped up and poured her drink out, Mom. No more jumping while you
Don't
got your
jump
drink,
while you
okay?
have it, okay, or else it'll pour all out. You won't have no more bubbles left. How do you take this stuff off?
How?
You want to roll, Marilyn? Get one.
Happy birthday, twinners. Happy birthday, Steven.
It was a dinner tonight, but everybody ate over at somebody else's house. Go like this, Stephanie, watch.
You know by now my party's never
Okay, get down on the floor. Go like this, blow really slow. Go.
downstairs watching TV.
Blow really. Oh, you made some bubbles. Oh. Blow it towards Daddy. Blow it towards Daddy.